In a moment so shocking and almost unbelievable, trusted sources reported that just 14 minutes ago, Kim Taehyung, or better known by his stage name, V of BTS, was successfully rescued from a life-threatening critical condition. But it wasn't just the medical news that shook the public. Behind that sudden recovery, Jungkook's hysterical cries actually seized the attention of fans all around the world. The sentence that came out of Jungkook's mouth, while crying loudly, raised more questions than answers. What really happened while Taehyung was in critical condition? And why did Jungkook look so devastated that he uttered words that could not be ignored? Until now, no one can give a definite answer as to how this situation developed so quickly and dramatically. Taehyung was previously reported unconscious in a very concerning medical state. His location was tightly guarded with no media access, and only close individuals were allowed to be around him. But this afternoon, everything changed drastically. In the last 14 minutes, a surge of activity around a particular medical center was detected by fans who were monitoring the movements of staff and vehicles typically used by BTS's internal circle. These signals then sparked speculation that something huge was happening, and it turned out to be true. The attention now shifts to Jungkook's emotional statement that caught global attention. While crying and bowing his head, Jungkook was seen tightly holding someone's hand, believed to be Taehyung, and said a sentence never heard before from the main vocalist. Several eyewitnesses at the location stated that Jungkook said, "If you go, I will never forgive anyone again, including myself." That sentence immediately spread widely across social media and triggered global commotion. Is this a form of guilt? Or does it indicate that Jungkook knows something the public has never known? This situation raises new questions that go far beyond mere health issues. Many are now re-examining the entire trail of interaction between Taehyung and Jungkook in recent months. Is there a hidden conflict? Is there internal pressure that pushed both of them to an extreme point? And why does Jungkook seem to feel emotionally responsible for what happened to his closest friend? A few days earlier, fans had voiced their unease over the lack of interaction between Taehyung and Jungkook in public spaces. On several occasions, they appeared in separate moments, both physically and emotionally. Although many considered this part of their respective personal strategies, Jungkook's statement today shattered that narrative. It reignited speculation that something bigger had been covered up, and is now starting to surface in the form of tears and emotional declarations that cannot be dismissed. IT didn't stop there. Digital traces left a few hours before this incident showed that Jungkook had posted a cryptic message on his personal account. A short sentence reading, "I regret not saying it earlier," has now become a major highlight. Many speculate that the message was directed to Taehyung even before the critical situation occurred. This raises a deeply unsettling question. Did Jungkook know something that led to the dire condition? Or is this a form of regret for not being able to protect the person he cares about most? The questions keep pouring in. What exactly happened hours before Taehyung was rushed to the hospital? Why has no public representative been willing to provide information that could clarify the situation? And most importantly, is this all just an ordinary medical incident? Or is there a psychological pressure element involving parties beyond the personal control of the two? Amid this tension, the global ARMY community is calling for full solidarity and scrutiny toward the circulating information. But ironically, the more data that emerges, the blurrier the full picture becomes. Jungkook, known as a strong figure who rarely shows excessive emotion, now appears to be the most fragile figure amid the ongoing storm. His audible and uncontrollable crying has left millions of fans feeling lost, wondering whether all of this could have been avoided if there had been more openness earlier on. This entire incident reinforces the speculation that Taehyung is not merely facing health issues. Some entertainment industry analysts have even begun discussing the possibility of systemic pressure experienced by BTS members, especially after their exclusive contract period entered a new stage said to be filled with uncertainty. Has that pressure directly impacted Taehyung's physical and mental state? Has Jungkook been harboring anxiety that he has never publicly expressed? One thing now under the spotlight is Jungkook's facial expression after leaving the room where Taehyung was being treated. He looked devastated, his eyes swollen, and he gave no statement to the media waiting outside. An observer who managed to glimpse from a distance said that Jungkook repeatedly hit his own chest while repeatedly saying the name Taehyung. This added emotional pressure on the public watching directly or indirectly. Now, only one fact can be confirmed. Taehyung has survived his critical condition. But Jungkook's statements and expressions have instead opened a new chapter in an unresolved mystery. Who should be held responsible for the pressure they are experiencing? Is Jungkook harboring certain feelings regarding decisions or events involving Taehyung? And is his crying today an outpouring of guilt that he has long carried? Many have begun speculating that this incident marks a turning point in the internal dynamics of BTS that have long been hidden behind the shine of popularity and perfect imagery. The emotional state experienced by Jungkook shows that behind their extraordinary success lies a far more complex and wounded reality. Taehyung, long known as a cheerful and stable figure, suddenly stood at death's door. And only Jungkook appears to be the most impacted by the situation. Amid all this confusion, another unexpected statement emerged from an individual claiming to be an internal staff member. They said that days before the incident, there was a long and emotional conversation between Jungkook and Taehyung, where the two were believed to have expressed their worries about the future, job pressures, and losing control over their personal lives. Though unconfirmed, this information strengthens the suspicion that Taehyung's crisis was not a spontaneous event, but the accumulation of deep and prolonged pressure. Now the world waits. Will Jungkook speak further? Will we get an explanation that can answer the questions plaguing fans' minds? And more importantly, is this only the surface of a deeper and more systemic issue that has long been hidden behind the camera's spotlight? No one knows for sure. But one thing is clear, Jungkook's cry today is not just a cry of loss, but also a silent scream full of meaning that something is not right. And the public has the right to know what is truly happening. However, amid the euphoria over Taehyung's sudden recovery from his critical condition, a far more urgent, sharper question emerges, one that cannot be ignored. Did all of this really happen? Or are we, as the public, being pulled into a narrative deliberately constructed for a purpose that may not be pure? Are Jungkook's tears, his emotional words, and Taehyung's drastic recovery all part of a grand play designed to manipulate public attention? Who is truly controlling this flow of information? And more than that, who benefits? The fact that the entire chronology of this event spread widely through TikTok video clips, long Twitter threads from unverified accounts, and short snippets from private YouTube channels without direct confirmation from related parties should make us pause. This is not a simple matter. This is a series of events with the potential for global-scale public opinion manipulation. And if society does not equip itself with a critical attitude, we all, even the most loyal fans, risk becoming victims of an invisible game. The public has seen how videos titled "Breaking," Taehyung collapses in Jungkook's arms spread widely just minutes after the issue surfaced. Many of these contents included dramatic visuals, edited crying sounds, and repetitive narratives that seemed to confirm a single incident. But is there any of this material that can be independently verified? Who recorded it? When? Where? And for whose benefit? As an intelligent viewer, are you truly convinced that the event was entirely real? Or is it possible that you've been convinced by a series of visual data built on the foundation of illusion? Equally important, consider the timing of the narrative's spread. Only 14 minutes after it was said that Taehyung was rescued from critical condition, thousands of accounts had massively reshared the story. Is such speed reasonable? Or is it rather a signal that this narrative had been prepared in advance? And if it was prepared, by whom? For what? Is it possible that there's a specific agenda behind this explosion of public emotion over such a personal and emotional moment? Moreover, Jungkook's cry heard in the video clip does not provide complete context. His sentence saying he wouldn't forgive anyone if Taehyung left can have a wide range of meanings. It could be a sincere expression from a broken heart, but it could also be part of a deliberate emotional manipulation, designed to sound authentic and heartbreaking but actually taken out of its original context. Have we lost the ability to distinguish between reality and narrative construction? This phenomenon reminds us of how the modern entertainment industry operates on algorithms, not conscience. Big events, whether sad or joyful, are often packaged into ready-to-share narratives, easy to go viral and effective in planting psychological influence on a global audience. And when an event is delivered through platforms like TikTok, Twitter, or YouTube without editorial control, how big is the chance that the information has been modified for certain interests? The question that must now be answered is this: do you, as a reader, as an army, or as a neutral observer, feel that the information you consume comes from an honest process? Or are you beginning to notice certain patterns that always appear whenever a major narrative explodes in public? Patterns that are no longer about humans and emotions, but about impressions, clicks, and monetization. This doesn't mean we must accuse everyone of lying, but precisely because we value truth, we must be skeptical of every narrative presented too emotionally, too perfectly in eliciting tears, and too quickly spread. Too many tragedies are turned into tools. Too many personal stories are sold for ratings. So, let us ask ourselves this important question. Was Taehyung really in critical condition? And did Jungkook really cry because he lost control over his emotions? Or could we be watching a grand stage play crafted so neatly, and we're sitting as passive viewers consuming all the plot without ever testing its truth? Even further, is there a possibility that this incident is being used as a distraction from more serious internal issues? If it's true that there is institutional pressure, contract conflicts, or broken personal relationships among BTS members, is it possible that events like this are used as a cover to mask what is truly happening behind the scenes? Jungkook's emotional reaction was indeed shocking. But is one short video, one tearful sentence, enough to fully trust the truth of this event? Are you sure there are no scene cuts, no rearranged narrative segments, or no context deliberately omitted to steer public opinion in a particular direction? A critical thinking society must begin to question the authority of the information sources they've long relied on. Are anonymous Twitter accounts, unverified YouTube channels, or viral TikTok comments worthy foundations for concluding that a tragedy truly occurred? If information about Taehyung's condition and Jungkook's tears first spread from accounts known for sensational content, then why do we still believe? We must dig deeper. Who benefits the most from this emotional upheaval? Is it the agency under public pressure? Is it the media that gains traffic and engagement spikes? Or is it a third party playing a behind-the-scenes role? If you cannot answer that question with certainty, then perhaps it's time you stopped fully trusting unverified information. Let us reflect together. When the narrative of someone's life is used as viral material, what is truly happening to our information ecosystem? Is this a new form of emotional exploitation? And if it is, then who should be held accountable? The content creators chasing popularity, the viewers who fail to think critically, or the media system that lets unverified news spread without limits? As part of an intelligent society, you have the right to question everything. You have the right to be skeptical. You have the right to be angry. And you have the right not to believe. Because in a world where information can be manipulated, skepticism is not apathy. It is the only way to protect yourself from a collective deception crafted so neatly and strategically. If today you believe that Taehyung survived a critical condition and Jungkook cried out of emotional trauma, then ensure that your belief comes from rational analysis, not merely a wave of mass emotion shaped by trending topics. Do not let digital tears replace logic. Do not let viral narratives erase reasoning. And do not let yourself be used by a system that turns human emotion into a commodity. So we ask you directly, do you truly believe this event is real? Or are you starting to see the cracks long hidden beneath mass hysteria and shock? Rethink every piece of information you consume. Re-examine every narrative you believe. Reflect again on every emotion you feel. Because in this era, it's not just information at stake, but your integrity as a thinking human being.